Listen, yeah, I'm sitting on a bad boy piece of information. You want to find out more? Keep watching the video.
Pick up the phone, baby, I'm calling you. I put my all in you. Was supposed to ball with you. I've been grinding, I've been working for you, baby. For you to tell me you don't wanna do this, that's cool, baby.
Hey guys, it's Taiana Lewin back here again with another video. You already know how the thing's set. A little bit of everything. If you already read the title, you already know what we're doing today. Today, I'll just be giving you a few tips and advice on starting sixth form. Listen, yeah, I'm sitting on a bad boy piece of information.
I'm sitting on a bad boy piece of information. Do you understand?
You want to find out more? Keep watching the video. This is for anyone who's going into year 30, year 12. Maybe you're just in year 11, year 10. You just want a little insight. It doesn't really matter, you know. This video is for anyone. So, like, I was getting a lot of questions. Like, a lot of people asking me to do, like, an advice tip sort of thing because they needed it. Some people were starting this week. I actually started school last week. But, I mean, that don't matter. I can still give you the details. And you know what? I thought, what better than someone who knows, who's been through it? If you don't know already, I'm in year 13. I study sociology, law and business. They're all A-level subjects. None of them are BTEC. I'm just going to be giving you guys like a little insight of my experience first of all and telling you how sixth form was like for me studying in the UK. Guys, this is my notebook of my notes that I wrote, everything I'm going to be speaking about in this video. I hope you guys do enjoy. So, sixth form for me, how can I put it? It was a very new experience, like transferring from being dependent on teachers to being independent. I mean, like, I like the whole being independent type of situation, but it was hard to get used to at first. There was things that were so different, like we got free periods. In secondary school, what was free periods? Like, we heard it, but what was it? Did we know? No. Did we have it? No. The time that you used to study, the time that I wasn't using to study in year 12 because I was living my best life. I started sixth form, I didn't go with anybody. I didn't go to a sixth form that was close to my home either. Neither did I stay at my school's sixth form. Most of my friends stayed at my school's sixth form or they went elsewhere which was closer to them. On the other hand, I decided to go to a sixth form that was further away from me because it had what I wanted to study. Now, when you're looking for sixth form, sometimes you have to look for sixth form that studies what you study. My school didn't allow me to study law, but allowed me to study business and textiles. But also the textiles was a different subject altogether. But in the end, I didn't even end up studying textiles anyways. In this sixth form, I currently study law, business and sociology. I was able to have the choice of studying all the things that I wanted to study. Now, I suggest when you are looking to go to a sixth form, don't just go to any sixth form and just pick any subject. My first tip for all of you new freshers, all of you new students, all of you who are nervous, my first tip is to always be organized. Now, what I mean by always being organized, I mean pack your bag the night before, checking your timetable. You should get your timetable on the first day that you go. They should organize you with that already. So when you go home, you need to look at your timetable. Now, for me, I've got 2 timetables. We have 1 week and we have second week. What that means is that the timetable will shift every week, but it will be between those 2 weeks. So some days, like say on Monday first week, I've got free period first thing in the morning, then I've got law and then I've got business. But then next week Monday, I've got law in the morning, then I've got a free period and then I've got a free period again. That's just basically what it means. I don't know if your sixth form will be like that, but that's just mine personally. Sometimes you only have 1. In my college, we usually have 6 periods, I think, or is it 7? Oh my gosh, I should know this, but I don't. Anyways, as I was saying, make sure you be organized. Make sure you check your timetable for the classes you have, and you make sure you Don't be one of those people who are like, my bag is too full, so I'm going to go to school without my notebooks. You don't understand the amount of people I saw on the first day. Even still now, 1 week after we started school, they're like, Miss, I don't have my notebook. What do you mean you don't have your notebook? You should be prepared. My friends be asking me, Tayana, why is your bag so full? It's full because I'm bringing all the notebooks for my signed lessons on that day. You make sure you're organized, and when the teacher sees that, you already put in the good list from the beginning, from the get-go. Okay. Now, if you have folders, make sure you bring the folder for a reason. Like, say if your teacher says, okay, class, we're going to be revising so and so next week, your teacher should tell you when you are going to be revising a week before, a day before, so you know the things you need to bring in and what you need to expect. I would suggest that if you're going to be revising in school, you bring that folder, no matter how big it is. You hold that folder in your hands. I can't tell you the amount of days, cold days I endured, rainy days I endured, one umbrella in one hand, bag on my shoulder, heavy, and folder in my hand. I made sure I brought it to school and brought it come back home, because you want those grades, don't you? Of course, you want those grades. Okay, another way of being organized is you download that BBC weather app and you check that app every night before you go to bed and every morning, so you are prepared for whatever the weather is going to be. I don't think a lot of people know this about me, but I check the weather every night and every morning, so I know that what I am wearing will go with the weather. Now, you don't want to be wearing a skirt, no tights, socks or whatever, and it's going to be raining. Neither do you want to be wearing a jumper when it's going to be sunny. You're going to feel like an egg. You're not going to feel right when everybody's looking at you and you are sweating. You have sweat patches underneath that jacket of yours. Now, you don't even want to bring a jacket and having to hold it in your hands. Just check the weather. Just download BBC weather. That's all you have to do. Just download it, guys. The second tip I'm going to be giving you guys is make sure you have a pencil case that is organized, that has all the things you need. So if you know that you're going to be studying an essay-based subject, i.e. psychology, philosophy, sociology, business, English, make sure you have pens. Make sure you have different colored pens, biro pens, black, blue, red, green, you name it. And you make sure you have highlighters as well. Highlighters is a must. Let me just show you guys my pencil case. Here's my pencil case. Now, this is what I mean. Your pencil case should be full to the brim, to the point where you can hardly even close it. Now, look at this. This is what you call being prepared, being organized. I'm not even gonna lie to you, by the time the end of the year comes, you won't even know where half of these pens are. But sis, you try anyways. Boy, you try anyways. Guys, you try anyways. Okay, your pencil case needs to be full of highlighters. Make sure you have your ruler. Make sure you have, if you're doing maths, if you're doing business, you make sure you bring that calculator to school. You don't be asking anybody for a calculator. Okay, the third tip is stay on top of your revision. Now, I am not telling you guys these tips not knowing what I am talking about. I am telling you guys these tips out of experience, what I've had to endure, and I don't want you guys to endure the same thing. In year 12, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I was nervous. I had no friends. I didn't come with anybody, so I had to make friends. So most of my times were spent making friends and getting to know my friends, when really and truly it should have been about my studies. I was studying, but not as hard as I wanted to. You need to stay on top of your revision. For example, what I've started doing this year, I'm making sure I stay on top of my revision every single day. Even if you're spending 30 minutes to an hour, you come home, and what I tend to do is I will go back over the notes that I made in class, and I will not touch these highlighters in class unless I really have to touch it. When I come home, I will read over what I've wrote down and I will highlight. So that way, you not only are you reading back and reviewing your work, but you're also analysing and it's staying in your head. Also, as you can see behind me, I use post-it notes. Now, there's just a few on this wall, but what I am doing is I have one wall of sociology, then I've got one wall of business, and then I have another wall of law. Basically what I do is all the notes that you have highlighted and all the important notes, I will color code it. So say for instance, this is all sociology. Yellow is theorists, so the answers are behind. And okay, so yellow is supposed to be theorists, pink is definitions, green is example, this lighter pink is why, this orange is theories, views, and those are the colors basically. But I found that worked really well for me. Like, try and split it up, try and get post-it notes to help you. I'm not telling you guys to overdo it, you guys don't have to do this, but basically review your work whenever you come home. Every time you come home, let's spend 30 minutes, 1 hour, and just review the work. Just read over what you've done, and that's all you have to do. And make sure as you're reading, ask yourself, do I understand what I am reading? If not, go back tomorrow and you ask that teacher, you write down those notes that you didn't understand, and you go and ask your teacher what was so and so. Number 4 is using your free periods wisely. Again, out of experience, I was not using my free periods wisely. I was using these to talk with my friends, have fun, play card games. No, that is what you don't do, because when you do that, you start to fall back, and that is not what you want. You don't want to fall back. You want to keep rising and rising. Make sure you use your free periods wisely. That means when you have homework that was set that same day, and then you have a free period after that lesson, you go to that free period and you do that homework. I mean, why not? If that means going to the library, finding a spare classroom, sitting in the lunch hall or whatever. Me, personally, I like to go to the library because that's where I work best. That is where I am away from distractions. Most of my friends don't go to the library, but that's okay. Sometimes you have to be by yourself. It's okay. It's all right to be by yourself sometimes if it's for the best. It's okay to go to the library and do your work. It's okay, because at the end of the day, who succeeding? Okay, I'm not saying that you can't socialize and chat with your friends, but it's saying that my mum always said to me was, there is always lunchtime and break time to chat to your friends, socialize with your friends, and have all the fun. Free periods in the class, you make sure you get your head down and you make sure you listen to the teacher. Okay, and my mum didn't say that to me for no reason. It meant something, so you guys can take in too. Number 6 kind of touches up on my previous point. Find the best place you can study. The best place for me is the library, but you find that place for you. Maybe you don't have a quiet home. Like, my home is not quiet at all. I mean, I've got siblings, 3 siblings, and they are noisy. So I like to do my work in school in the free periods that they give us to complete that work. Because let me tell you this, no teacher's running behind you. So if you do not complete your work, you may get a detention, yes, but that teacher's not running behind you to say, give me the work. This is not secondary school. The teacher's not forcing you to give you their work. Remember, the teacher has already got their A-levels. It's you. They literally just come to read from a textbook, show you the PowerPoint for you to write down your notes and take in. The teachers is not forcing the knowledge into your brains, so you need to take it. Okay? You need to take it. I really hope I am motivating you guys right now, because I mean, I am really feeling the motivation. Number 7 is do not procrastinate. I cannot tell you the amount of times, and I still do currently procrastinate, I'm not even gonna lie to you, but I mean, I catch myself out. Most people do not know how to catch themselves out. Most people do not even know when they're procrastinating until they are in a situation where they're like, oh my gosh, why did I not do this when I should have been doing this? Procrastination is the worst thing. Don't be saying that you want to study and you're not studying. Don't be saying that you want to revise and you haven't even picked up that notebook. Don't be saying that you want to concentrate more and you're doing the complete opposite. You want to do that, you start doing it. Start doing it now, because at the end of the day, when the teacher turns around and says, guys, it's time to go back and recap and revise, and then you're in the class doing essays and you don't even know what you're doing, past papers, I mean, what are you gonna say? Ain't no one there to come and put the knowledge into your brain, is there? I mean, it's up to you guys, but don't procrastinate. Just try your hardest. I know it's hard. It's hard for me. Like, I procrastinate a lot, but don't procrastinate. Tip number 8. Okay, I'm kind of going in a really weird order, but This is about your A-levels. Make sure that when you're picking your A-levels, you're not just picking because of your friends, or you're not just picking because there's a certain sixth form that you want to attend. No, make sure that you are looking at the career pathway that you want to take. For instance, I chose to study law, sociology and business because the career pathway that I wanted to take was law. I wanted to study law in uni. However, when I was telling you guys that I was going to be studying textiles, business and sociology, that is when I was thinking to possibly stay at my old school because they didn't have law to offer me, but they had textiles and they had business and they had sociology. But I was still a bit indecisive about whether I wanted to go and do fashion designing or whether I wanted to drop that completely and go and do something I had never studied before, because in secondary school I had studied textiles, business and Spanish. So make sure that when you are choosing your A-levels, it is because that is a career that you want to take. Now maybe you don't even want to go to uni. Now that's obviously fine, that's okay. If you don't want to go to uni, then you need to make sure that what you are studying is a passion, it's an interest. I'm going to reiterate again, not because your friends are studying it or because you want to go to a certain college or sixth form. No, it's what you enjoy or what you want to study. Tip number 8. This is a bit more personal to when you are at sixth form. You're like around the premises. Don't spend too much money. Now you're going to get excited that you have free periods, and I'm telling you, in the first year I was excited. Oh my gosh. Guess where I shopped the first day of school? I went to M&S. Who told me to go to M&S? I bought a meal deal, and guess how much the meal deal cost? I swear, the meal deal ended up totaling to about £7.60 for what? Water, sandwich and crisp from M&S. Now, come on. Co-op was literally just down the road, but I literally trekked to the main street to go to M&S because I wanted to feel bougie. Never again. Guys, try and save, especially when you're in your last year. You want to save in even more than ever, because some of you might be wanting to go to uni, or you might be saving up because you want to buy a house afterwards, or you just want to save because, you know, for your future. So I would suggest trying not to spend so much. Just don't spend unnecessarily. Honestly, you don't need to. Like, try and find a cheaper option. You go to that Tesco's, you go to that Sainsbury's, you go to that Co-op, you go to that 99p store. 99p store has good drinks, you know. You go to that and you save your money. I'm telling you. Tip number 10 is your attendance. My attendance was so bad in my first year. I'm not going to get into it a bit too much, but my attendance wasn't that good. You don't want to have low attendance because that will look bad on your record. Luckily enough for me, I am now in year 13. I still have a chance to change that, and I am making sure I get up 2 hours before school starts, and I make sure that I am out of that door, and I make sure that I am reaching to school, even if that is half an hour early. I'm making sure I go in that gate and I sit down and I look at extra work, or look at how my day is going to be like. I'm looking at my timetable. I'm making sure that my ass is in that school gate. I don't even care. I'm making sure I am not late. This year is so different mindset, and that's how you have to be from the beginning. Don't be like me. Do right from the beginning. Also, attendance is so important, because say if you miss a class, you don't know how much you've missed. In that class, you could have went through so many different topics that you had not even learned before. In a must be a topic that you've already studied. In a must. Come on now. The teacher will not catch you up. So you need to make sure that sometimes you have to miss a day of school. Sometimes you have to because you're sick. There's really an issue. You have a doctor's appointment. But you make sure that when you come back to school the next day or the next week, you ask the teacher what was planned that lesson. Did you do that lesson? You make sure you get notes. You make sure you get extra work from the teacher to complete, and you make sure you bring it to the teacher so that they can mark it. You make sure that you are still on top. Don't drop just because you missed a day of school. No. Yes, you may get sick. Yes, you may have a funeral to go to. Yes, you may have to fly out to another country to go to another funeral for probably a week or so, but you make sure you get the teacher's email and you keep on task with the teacher, because at the end of the day, it's your choice. Do you want to fall? Do you? You need to make sure you stay on top, because ain't no one else doing it for you. Ain't no one else putting that knowledge in your brain. Okay. Also, another thing that I wanted to add is, this is so shocking, but sometimes your school will have a poster around the school, but I'm sure like most of you have seen it before. It will show like how many days you've missed off. Say if your attendance is 97% or your attendance is 95%, it will show that 95%, I think like that's like 35 classes. No, I think that's even more. That's like 62 classes missed. It will also show like 96% could probably be like you've missed 32 classes. It was such an eye-opener when I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh. I think my attendance in year 1 was like 97%, so that means like 35 classes were missed. But just try not to miss class as much. Tip 11 is, do not leave revision till last minute. There will be a point in time if you really do let it get out of hand and you really do not learn how to control when you're revising. Teachers is like, okay class, we finished learning the topics for the year. Now we're gonna start revising and recapping, and the teacher's putting up these questions going back to what you last learned on the first week of first year, and you don't know what you're writing because you wasn't revising. You do not want to cramp everything for that one assessment. Now everyone is talking about the second wave, and you lot know what happened just last month. Everyone who was supposed to do their GCSEs, their A-levels, they were given predicted grades. If your predicted grades is not good, what are you coming out with? No matter what you think you could have got, what are you going to come out with? You need to make sure you're revising, so when you're doing those mock exams and they're going to be giving you a predicted grades, in case the second wave does happen, you need to make sure that you are on top of your revision, so then you feel like you are guaranteed those grades, so you know you will get those grades, if you understand what I mean. I hope you guys understand what I mean. Tip number 12 is, make sure you attend seminars, meetings, extracurricular activities. Make sure you're taking part in those things because it will really look good. For instance, in year 1, I made sure that I signed up to be tutor ambassador. So that means that I would be the representative of my tutor and I would help out my tutor with organising and stuff. Second thing I did was I became a reading buddy. That meant that I would take like the younger years, like say for instance the year 7s, the year 8s, and I would read with them on a certain day. Like I would sit down and read with them. And what that does is that looks good on your CV. Now you want certain things that will look good on your CV. You also want to make sure you enjoy it. Like personally, I like reading. Also, I like being the leader. I like leading groups. I like doing those organisation things. So being a form ambassador was actually really fun. And also was the reading buddy. I actually really enjoyed it and I got to learn about the younger years more, especially when I didn't even go to that school. So you want to make sure that you are attending these meetings that the teachers speak about that could help you in your studies, especially if it's linked to a certain subject. You want to make sure that you're attending those so you can get extra insight into what you're studying. Or even it could even be like a careers meeting to help you in with the path that you want to go to. Try and be active, especially if you have a lot of free time and then you find that you have nothing to do. Extracurricular activities, extracurricular activities are really good. So yeah. Tip 13 is make sure you use the school services to your maximum. That means that if, say for instance, like every single sixth form or college should have a counsellor, should have an advisor, career advisor, should have a head of sixth form. If you need help, do not feel any way to go to these people. They're there for you. Say if you need help, a counsellor, make sure you go to them. Say if you're a girl, for instance, and you know, you're probably in some pain, like go to the medical. I'm sure they have some stuff, you know. You understand what I mean. The school has services there and they will always tell you, they should tell you who is available, who you can go to for certain situations. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what's in my school because your school might be different. My last tip is don't overdo it. Do not come and kill yourself. You cannot come and kill yourself. Don't overdo it. Don't overwork yourself to the point where you are stressing and you're getting depressed. I mean, like, revise, but don't hurt yourself. That I didn't say don't revise. still revise, but don't overdo it, okay? Also, if you ever need anyone to talk to, as I said again, there's always someone at school, or talk to a parent or carer or your friends. I'm pretty sure they will listen to you. You can even, guys, you can even come to me. You can even comment down below. You can even message me personally on my Instagram. Should be there. You can even message me personally. Can help. So guys, that was the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed these 15 tips on how to survive sixth form. Let me know if you want a part 2, or if you want another video on me going into depth about my certain subjects. Say if you study law, or you study sociology, or you study business, let me know if you want me to do another video on going into depth on how you study for those subjects, because I've actually learned quite a few tips actually. Also, if you are studying sociology, a good YouTuber to watch is Ibsmo. His name will be there. I'm telling you, I can't tell you how much I binge watched him during COVID. I binge watched so much revision videos that I was like, yeah, I am prepared for when I go back to year 13. This year is my year, and I am taking it. I am taking it by the silver platter handed to me. I am making sure I get those grades, and I make up for those lost times in year 12. But you guys don't have to do that. You guys can start now. You don't have to be like me. You guys can start now. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and get at me for another video. Bye guys.
I've been grinding, I've been working for you, baby.